So guys, moving ahead, answering the most important question again, where should I do it from? CFI website offers you a lot of free courses to do, right? Visit this website, see if there is something that you can do. Some of my suggestions would be, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, I have done a certification on math knowledge, right? It's called the capital introduction to capital markets. It's called the fundamental of math. So the fundamental of math, capital market, primary market knowledge. So a lot of courses are free on this portal. You can just go have a look, or probably you can take a screenshot of this slide and explore each one of these websites at a later stage. So Alison is there. You lead also, what has helped me is not just doing or paying for the courses, but if I take you to the career portals and to the websites of bigger companies which are into research, right? Protivity is one company. So Protivity, IP Source. So IPSOS is a company that I want you to just have a look at their website, right? Go to the websites of KPMG Insights. So I'll be sharing those links. I have prepared a list of the links for you. So you can just go to these websites, read a lot on their industry reports. So what they do is they very brilliantly, categorize different categories of industries, different service lines, different aspects of the economy, and within those categories they have a lot of recently published articles. Now understand that these articles are prepared by the employees working within the organization, and those employees have a vast set of experience, they have a vast set of skill sets, and are involved with preparing these reports. And they might have used all the available courses, they have used all the databases they have, all the paid and the unpaid sources to prepare that report. So there is nothing more authentic you can get as a part of your reading material. So the reading material, I also don't, so going ahead, don't expect me to provide you a lot of reading material of my own. Why? Because I know everything is out there. I just have to navigate you to where to get started from, right? Today in this session, I'm giving a teaser that you go read the articles from these big fours insights page. If you want, if we have time, I'll show you one of the pages and how do you navigate through this website. Okay, as I said, I have done my financial modeling course from IMS Proschool. But again, a big disclaimer that they charge a little more for their courses, although they provide placement assistance. My suggestion, so I was a little naive back then. Then I did not get a mentor who could tell me that don't do it, don't spend so much money, or don't do this. I ended up paying 40K for that course, which I will not say I regret it because I learned from it. But now that I have a good understanding of valuation and modeling, I believe that you don't have to pay so much to acquire the basic skills of valuation and financial modeling, especially to get into a job. I'll tell you how you can acquire the same. So Udemy, Coursera, these are well known to you, I'm sure, right? A lot of you ask me, suggest me a good institute or a place to do financial modeling or valuation. Wallstreat Mojo is one such website that has helped me develop on my concepts. They pick up a model from Amazon or PepsiCo, etc. Some so anyone who knows what is SOTP? SOTP. Anyone, any full form? It's related to valuation only, but can you find out for me the
Some
full
of
form of?
the some of the parts, what it is.
Yeah, sum of the parts. What does that mean? Can you guess?
I did it for some project, I remember, but I just can't explain.
Okay, no worries. So
It's
there's
like
no.
it's kind of different techniques we do it. It is just from DuPont. I did it. I remember we do different techniques and then we sum it off and then we find the real value, what we call intrinsic value.
Yeah, absolutely. So
It's a
as a
very
name.
vague idea I have.
No, you got a very good, you gave a good answer, and I'm happy that I am getting to hear this similar voice again and again. So I am expecting a DM from you for sure. Right. Okay. So yeah, yeah. Right. So the thing is that as you mentioned, that SOTP is sum of the parts, which is again a valuation metric to consider. Sum of the parts, as the name suggests, there are conglomerates, right? There are companies which have a diverse set of revenue drivers. Their revenue is coming not just from India but also from abroad. They are catering to a wide number of clients. Can we name a few companies? You just mentioned about you working on a project. I don't want to know the details, but can you name a few companies that might follow or might have a conglomerate structure or a complex structure? Or,
I did it for ITC because ITC has a very different business. It's very fragmented. So they
yeah,
have the major revenue coming from tobacco, cigarette business, and then it comes from retail sector of theirs. And at the same time, they are into agri products also, packaging also.
yeah.
ITC Infotech is also there. So I did it for five ITC subsidiaries.
Great, great. ITC is one company. The approach is that, the reason I'm talking about SOTP is companies like Amazon, Reliance, ITC, PepsiCo, which have a very fragmented business approach, might follow, might follow that approach. So Wallstreet, Mojo, and Wallstreet, which is based out, I think, in Gurgaon, and they also offer replacement assistance. These organizations or these institutes pick up companies which are into SOTP, because under SOTP, as he mentioned, you will follow a lot of approaches to arrive at the entire value of the firm. So to arrive at the value of the firm, you will be dealing with a lot of valuation methods. So they follow this approach to make you learn through the process of financial modeling. Valuation looks very fancy, but in the end, it's all about you learning the methods of valuation, which you can individually also learn from elsewhere, right? I recently did a course from Udemy. It just costed around 500. It was not even something that you can't afford. And, it was an excellent course. If time permits, I'll be sharing the same in the group. Do remind me, someone, right? One of you can remind me of that. I'll do it. So that you can get started with. Imarticus Learning is there. LinkedIn Learning offers you so many profiles. And also don't forget to check on my YouTube, because whatever I have learned, I will definitely, so this is just a wink. With a wink, I am asking you to stay connected there. But jokes apart, I cannot compare myself to these great institutions at the moment, but I hope I'll be able to impart a similar knowledge to each one of you who intends to connect with me. So the broadly, the skill sets that a recruiter is expecting to see out of you, or the skills you should fetch out of these courses, should be related to your analytical skills. You should be in a position to start valuing a business. To value a business, you should be in a position that, you're already a research analyst, which means you should know how to research for an industry, how to research a company and also an economy. You are very friendly with the top down approach. You are a good you're in a good position to understand the financial statements of any business, what the revenue drivers are, what the cost drivers are, what the opex is, what the capex is. What is opex and capex, anyone? Full form of OPEX?
OPEX
Operational
stands for
expenses and
operational
capital expenditure.
expense.
Perfect, perfect. That's fine. So I see two of you are always in sync, right? That's very nice. Okay. Potential of being good friends, I believe, because, you always become friends with people first who you catch that vibe with, and something is there in common. So two of you can, form an alliance, and then three of us can form an alliance. Anyway, so yeah, so equity research, fundamental analysis, a very good understanding of advanced Excel. See, Excel is not something you do it under a course. There are so many people who are generous enough to, teach you Excel or guide you on how do you get started with Excel. If I am a recruiter, I will just let you know that you should be very good with the data tab. So when I say the data tab, you should know what is data validation. You should know about the what if analysis. Okay, you only tell me, anyone, because I want to test your knowledge. What if analysis mein, what are the three major things you see?
Goal seek.
Yes, right. Second,
It's like sensitivity, scenario analysis, both are there.
yeah,
Yeah, scenario analysis is one of
goal
them.
seek, scenario manager, and what is the third one?
Car, okay, no, target is not there.
It makes me feel that Kavya is playing fastest fingers.
Yeah. Come
It's like
on, guys.
data table. Data table is there.
Data table, yeah. So the sensitivity that you mentioned about, right, that is incorporated in the data table. Scenario managers gives you the best, worst, and the neutral case when you are developing on a financial model. While the goal seek will help you, establish a particular interest rate or any sort of thing, if you have a goal in mind that, you want to estimate something in particular. So I think it's pretty sorted, right? So the data tab takes care of a wide range of what we do. At the same time, you should be well equipped with the financial functions like FV, PV, IRR, NPV. You should know the difference between VLOOKUP and index match. What is the limitation of VLOOKUP? Anyone?
The limitation is like you can do it from left, but you can't do it from the right. So if some cells, some columns are at the right, you can't do the lookup function. Index match can do it from everywhere.
Very nice, very
Direction.
nice. Yeah. So I see we are a well-learned audience. I don't really think you guys need a hand holding, but certain things that we still need to work on, right? So it's good to know that, you guys have that amount of practice done. But also, as you said that this is what it is, and you already have an idea of how important Excel is. So I was asked in one of my interviews that what is a ribbon in Excel? Anyone? Have you heard of this
The
word in Excel?
upper tab, that whole of the which contains 7 tabs, that is called ribbon.
Above the sheet,
Above the
Yeah,
sheet
yeah.
which contains all the 7 tabs is called a ribbon. It's on the first page of Excel course.
You answered it correctly. It's a good answer for me, but we can't vaguely say the definition to a recruiter. And hence, I'm giving you an open ended discussion on this that you can write it down, get back to me with a very crisp one liner answer on this. Okay? Then, additionally, they can ask you a lot about conditional formatting. When do you use a conditional formatting? When do you set up rules? It's not important. They'll ask you. I have not encountered a lot of direct Excel questions being asked, but yeah, in some roles that require a lot of Excel to be done, and especially as freshers, they can extend the interview asking such questions. Okay? You should be very good with the syntax of these companies, of these formulas. So if I ask you what is the syntax of a VLOOKUP, आपने बहुत बार use किया होगा, but do you recall? Can anyone tell me what is the first thing you do, then the second, third? What is the
Lookup
syntax?
value, lookup
Yes.
array, and then the approximate or true.
There is
True or false?
one more thing before true and false. You missed that. Array select करने के बाद क्या करते हैं?
I'll open
Will you
Excel and
not
check
select the
this.
column number you want?
Yeah,
Yeah, column
column number
number.
or row number.
So that is like that is everything in the formula.
That's the thing. He's missing the main thing
We
here.
we missed the most important thing, right? So okay, now another very logical thing. If VLOOKUP takes the column in the formula, then what will the HLOOKUP take? The row number.
Row.
row number.
Row
Right.
number.
So that means that you shouldn't really have to practice HLOOKUP separately. You just have to reverse the table and make it horizontal and replace the column with the row. Are you getting me? So your answers should be very smart. And that is how you crack an interview. So you always crack by being smart. You don't crack by answering everything in a lot of detail. So if somebody is asking me what is a VLOOKUP, what I used to do, I'll tell you. I mean, it's funny, but I used to start with explaining what is lookup first. Then I used to explain, okay, under lookup, we have VLOOKUP, we have HLOOKUP. Then I used to explain VLOOKUP. The recruiter is simply asking what is VLOOKUP. He might be interested to know that VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. So instead of going to the very basics of it, you can extend your explanation of lookup and say, so let me also talk about the limitation. Wherever VLOOKUP fails, I might have to apply a index match, because as you correctly mentioned that the drawback with VLOOKUP is that the value you're trying to fetch, or the lookup value, should be the first one in the table array, right? It should be a part of the first column in the table array. That is the limitation. However, index match doesn't have this criteria. But let me tell you, in my experience, that index match might not be used that frequently, but क्योंकि वो इतना frequently use नहीं होता है, even the senior managers or the people sitting above you might forget about it. They might forget how an index match is used, and that task may come to you. And if you are able to practice enough and then go to a company and say, why VLOOKUP, I'll use an index match, that also gives a good impression to the client that okay, he has done something technical. So people have a tendency to believe that if you worked hard to do something, it's good, like wow, we've cracked something great. So try to use VLOOKUP index match even in places you can use a VLOOKUP just for practice. However, if it is so required that VLOOKUP will work, then it works. Because so far in my experience at EY, I have always been recommended to use index match even if VLOOKUP can be used, right? So some of the couple of things, again, Excel is a very wide area to cover. I won't be able to take up everything. FSA and risk management, again, are areas you can explore. Right. So these are my recommendations. Just to